Frank, I'd love to move on to the next question, if that's okay.
Of course.
The next question is, what do you look forward to? And I think sometimes in ministry life, there's probably, I'd love to hear, it's maybe a twofold question, what you're looking forward to in the next season of ministry. I'd love to hear what each of the churches are really. I know Dave's recording at the moment and doing some curriculum things, which is exciting. But I'd also love to hear what you're looking forward to personally, because for people out there, I think sometimes they see us in these ministry roles or see us and hear that. For me, I'm looking forward to July. It's going to be painful, but I'm running my first half marathon, and I've been training for that. It's something just that I've really wanted to do. I know Nate's done a full marathon, and he did it in a ridiculous time because he's just a freak at everything. So what are you looking forward to just in life? It's a good way for me to get to know some of you more, but also the guys watching this to see we're normal people. I'm looking forward to, well, I said marathon, jeepers. Hope my wife doesn't watch this. I'm looking forward to my third baby being born tomorrow. That's exciting.
Tomorrow?
So, tomorrow, yes.
Awesome.
So that's good.
Great.
Dave, you're looking forward to a child also. I'll jump in there.
2 weeks.
Dave, you.
I got 2 weeks to go though. 2 weeks from this point.
Great. So, what are you looking forward to, ministry and personal? What are some things you're looking forward to? Everyone's thinking.
You want me to go? I'll go. I'll talk. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Right now I'm away on retreat with our team that run our campuses. So this next season, we just added 27 staff to our team within the past year. And so we're at 10 campuses and we're growing really fast. So we've got lots of new people. Many of them are our volunteers who have been serving in our ministry, which is great. But just trying to make sure that we get the DNA of our ministry into their hearts so that they can, again, emulate that at their campus. So we've been retreating away, so I kind of slipped away from them. They've gone to dinner just because I knew that this would be beneficial to me to hear your insight. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how our time together, which is, again, so critical for fun and vision, will hopefully take root in their hearts to, again, hopefully seeing evidences of DNA as they go back out from a retreat. So I know that you guys, value time away with your teams. It's something we have to fight for. But just personally, I'm really excited about the opportunities that we've had together to get away, to talk about vision, to share, our burdens, and to have fun together. So I'm excited about what's to come from our 2 days away together.
That's awesome.
That's great. Everyone's waiting to jump in.
Talking, so I'm going to jump in there. I'm never short of a word.
No.
Look. For me, I'm really excited about the next season. We've just, like many of you guys, we've just added campuses and things like that. And then we've got Becky Wakely in the city campus there, who's going away on maternity leave. So someone, two part-timers taking on her role. We've also got a lot of volunteer pastors coming on. So one thing we've really tried to do is with people that are key and carrying things at the same level as a pastor, we want to make sure that they have the same sort of level of not just title but responsibility and influence. Obviously, sometimes their job profile may change slightly because they're not in the office every single day. But we've got our staff retreat coming up in 2 weeks' time, and on the final day of that, the day after it, we're getting all of our kids pastors from across Hillsong Kids Australia together here in Sydney for 1 day. And it's probably the first time we've done that for a couple of years. And I'm really excited because there has been lots of changes, even the way Dave and I work in terms of him with creative, me with pastoral and leadership. I'm really pumped to get everyone together and build into them. Got a lot of fresh guys on team, and just being able to see them step up to that next level and be all that they can be. And then with Kids Song this year at Hillsong Conference, I'm pumped because, once again, I'm not heavily involved in everything. We've got the next generation of key leaders stepping up, and I'm excited to see them, run it and smash it better than we ever could.
I'm looking forward to coming because Frank Beal is going to be there. There's something I'm
looking forward to all you guys coming.
So,
Nate, what do you mean by volunteer pastors? Just give me a quick description of that role, what that looks like.
It looks exactly the same as a pastor, pretty much, except they are
So we've got one lady, for example. I'll give you some examples. One lady volunteers every day of the week, like a full-time pastor would. She has Mondays off, like I do, and she's in the office Tuesday to Friday and does all services on a weekend. No one in our church knows she's not paid. She doesn't. To me, ministry is not about where you get your paycheck. Ministry is about what you're called to do. So we've now got at the Hills campus, where I'm located, 5 of our age groups. 4 of them are run by volunteers. Some give 1 day a week, some give 2 days a week, some give 4 days a week, but they oversee the team of volunteers, the pastoring of the children, the outworking of the programs and everything in their age group. So they run it at the same capacity as a full-time staff member would, except they just don't get paid. Works for us.
It's awesome.
It's great.
Well, I'm looking forward to Jesus coming back.
Yeah.
I've heard there's some blood moons, and I think it could be soon. But apart from that,
Yeah.
there is. I always look for some of the thing that really fires me up is new things, getting to do new things. So we're pretty quick to, once you've done something around in our culture and our team, the next day we're good. That was in the past. Let's go on to the next thing. So something that fires me up is I'm always looking to see new things coming. I love seeing what's out ahead. There's something I want to do in 3 years' time that I probably won't be able to do for 3 years, but I'm looking forward to with our curriculum and our projects. And it's kind of a dream. It's kind of stirring in my heart a little bit as some kind of new. It's a new thing, as it were, to do with our curriculum and our projects. And that's about 3 years away, and I'm looking forward to that. But the great thing about that is I just think that God is into new things and seeing new things come to pass. And the thing that absolutely blows my mind is the idea that something starts as an idea in your brain, and then in a little while, especially when we're talking about creative stuff, whether it's a staging or a video or music or something like that, it's something. Like if it's a CD, what I love, the two sides of my personality is when you're working with people, you're never finished. When you're leading people, you can't put a stamp on somebody's passport and say, all right, you're spiritually developed, you're done, you're good, we're sorted, I've finished your job. Or we finished our job if you're working with somebody. You never look at a staff member and go, all right, finally you've attained nirvana. You are now the fully developed man or woman of God. Now that is not going to happen. But with a project, you can you go, we're done. Here's the CD, we're done. I've moved into the past. And so for me, working, there's both sides of it. The projects give me that sense of completion and that people don't. And people give you that sense of fulfillment that projects don't. Because the project's a project, but seeing someone develop is always the greatest thing. Someone go from where they were to where they are is amazing, and so that's not really specific, but it's kind of how I think.
It's generally specific. You are, Dave. You're very generally specific.
Very generally specific.
No, I don't know about you guys, and Dave, you kind of hit on this, but it's so often we are blowing and going, all hardcore. We're running hard, and if you guys are anything like me, which I believe all of us are the same way, they call me like I'm the grenade girl. I'm always willing to take a grenade and throw it at something, and blow something up. If we were to start this thing today, what would it look like? What would this music look like? What would our curriculum look like? What would our leadership development track look like? And we've thrown a lot of grenades in the last 24 months. And I am really stretched, and I might need some accountability from you guys, but I am really stretched to sit back and just allow God to show me what he's done. I don't know if you guys struggle with that at all, but Dave, I'm like you. It's like, okay, so what's the next project? Because it's always about what's next, and I hate to slow down. And so I'm really stretched to slow down and appreciate what it is that God's done. Take note of what he's done. What did we do right? What did we miss? All of those kinds of things. So I don't know if anybody can get behind me on that, but right now I just look forward to resting in what it is that God's already done. it'll be a short season. I won't be able to stay there long, but
Yeah,
Ellie, that's so
It's-
great. So I'm
Sure.
right in there with you, and feel like I'm still figuring all this out, of course. But this whole idea of go, 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 push, 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 stir it up, throw the grenade. I like that grenade girl. If they call me grenade girl, I'm going to be really upset though. So we'll have to find a new title for me. But like I get that idea. One thing that we did recently that I don't know that I did it intentionally. I think I did it out of necessity, but it's really helped. We're finishing up. We're getting ready to wrap. They're filming tonight and maybe one more time this series that I kind of threw down the gauntlet of, like, we're changing the way we do series. This is really going to push us forward. It's really complicated. Most complicated video shoots we've ever done. Young actors, that's a whole nother nightmare and challenge. And so we're pushing through all that. But then I knew that we were going to, by the time deadlines started to hit, we were going to be bumping up, getting really tight on deadlines toward the end of the series. And so we scheduled the next series. We're just totally ripping off somebody's stuff, using it 100%. And the goal was to recenter and assess what's worked and hasn't worked. And I just saw episode 5 of the series just a few hours ago and realized that it's probably the best piece we've done so far ever in our ministry, which is really exciting. But, you know, in a couple days, we're going to air that, and I have a tendency just to move on. And so because we have that window of taking a month where we're using somebody else's stuff, even though it's okay, it's going to work, it doesn't really fit our vibe. We may have picked the wrong thing, but we'll push through anyway. But during that time, we've scheduled some time to assess what worked, what didn't work, and just to talk about it and watch all the videos again, go through the group curriculum again. And I think it's going to give us a chance to kind of see those stories and talk through some of the wins and things that God did that maybe I didn't hear because I was running too fast or I wasn't on that campus. And so I don't know, because we're getting ready to do that. Literally in a couple of weeks, we're going to try that. And I look forward to it as being something that I think it's good for us to slow down a little bit and forcing ourselves to do so. I may go crazy in the meantime. I may blow it up. We may do a 2-week series, and I may write a 2-week series that we film overnight one night. I don't know. It might change everything. But that was one thing that was helpful. Looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really helpful. And as far as looking forward to stuff, when I moved into family ministry, you guys know I've been doing this just a few years now. I was a campus pastor. Pastor Stephen asked me to switch over to family ministry. And I said, yes, Pastor, whatever you want. And then I had the first and only conversation I've ever had where he was like, no. That wasn't the question. This isn't an all-in question. This is more like, what do you think about being full-time in this role? We haven't had that before. How does that play out? What does that look like? And so we just had a good, healthy conversation about this role. And so when I hit the ground running, just like all of you do all the time. Go, go, go. And I realized that when I landed and I took off running, I left the entire team behind me. Left a wake of just nobody could keep up. Everybody was overwhelmed. I had a million ideas. I was thinking about what we're going to do 10 years from now, and they're trying to figure out what we're doing tomorrow. And I had to really kind of grow up quickly and slow down and go back and invest in them. And I realized the other day that I'm still leading, but they're catching up with the pace. And it gets really exciting for me because that means I can start running faster again. And I've been throttling it back and holding back for so long. So I'm just in a season where I'm excited to start running again at a pace that I'm comfortable with because the team has just stepped up and they've grown and matured over the last couple of years. And so just looking forward to that.
That's great. I think so many like inspiring ministry things that all of you are, all of you are doing, and for me, it's so many. I'm pretty pumped about obviously our this year's national conference, a Kid Shaper conference, but I want to just even if it's a one-liner. Tonight I'm having dinner with my wife and 2 kids as the last time as a family of 4. Because we're having a baby tomorrow, and I'm been pumped for about 2 weeks for this dinner. We're going to this steak and ribs place. I just love it. Anyway, that's just me, but I'm excited about this. I find that in the busyness and the hectic nature of ministry, that moment of just wheeling it back and appreciating the smaller things, whether it's family or all these things, or looking forward to a holiday moment or something. As I said, running, that half marathon or something, even if it's a one-liner, all the ministry answers were fantastic. And I guess if I can throw a grenade and back your way, everyone, what's the one thing personally you're looking forward to? You know, I think we've all heard the ministry side of you, but what are you personally looking forward to? Can I throw it that way? Nath, next Monday, that's your day off. You looking forward to that?
Mate, I don't find it hard to switch off. When I go home, I can hug my kids and mostly forget. My wife and I are both involved in full-time ministry, so we're always flat out. But on Monday, when it's our day off, I'm gone.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm like you, Andy. I love running. I'm back into running, and I've had a lot of injuries the last few years from running and bad snowboarding because I'm really, really bad. And actually, not even snowboarding, skiing because I'm not even cool enough to snowboard.
That's the problem right there.
So for me, I'm just excited. Consistent exercise for me zones me out and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm excited because I'm not having any more kids, and because family life, I'm starting to manage quite well. My daughter got a credit yesterday at school for the first time, and she's in kindergarten, the first year of school, and the first term was crazy. Like she didn't cope. Term 2, she's settling in. So for me, I love routine of life. I love the normality of life. So when that starts to pump well, I feel great. The ministry highs and lows, the running and the seasons of that. My wife and I, she's tougher than I am. So if I start to whinge or I start to soften up, she throws a grenade at me. So I don't know. That sort of stuff just comes and goes with us as a family. But for me, I love I love my family. I love the normality of family life.
That's cool. I get to go to Haiti with my girls. I have a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, and we're going to go to Haiti for 10 days and just do some ministry alongside another church. It's not part of Life Church, and with some extended family, and it's going to be an amazing time away, just serving and doing that thing as a family. So super pumped about that.
That's awesome.
I'm super pumped about coming to Australia for the first time. That's going to be really exciting. We just booked our plane tickets yesterday, Jessica and I did. So that was just exciting to have that taken care of and to look forward to that. And actually, Pastor Stephen caught me last week because I wanted to make sure he knew what I was doing, obviously, and that I was going. And that had never come up in conversation. And so he caught me yesterday and was just like, hey, just want to let you know that I've been totally brought up to speed. I'm so excited about you going. Like, do more of this. You're doing great. And so it was cool to hear that. And it was also cool for them to say, make sure you stay longer and be really intentional about it and enjoy some time with your wife while you're there. And one thing I want to say, like when I look at you guys, I follow your Instagram and I follow what you're posting on Twitter. And the reality is what I see is that you guys know I didn't grow up in church. You know, I didn't start going to church till I was 18 years old, even though I grew up in the Bible Belt in East Tennessee. One of the things I love is that you guys do a solid job with families. You know, we all have our struggles and trying to figure it out, but you're raising great kids and you care about your spouse and you're doing a good job. And so it's interesting. I talk to young leaders, younger than me, that are going into ministry, and they talk about finances and adjusting finances if they've been successful in business, wherever it may be. And then they talk about family, and they talk about, can we do this, and how hard is this? And I'm encouraged to be able to say, yes, you can do it, and yeah, it gets complicated. It certainly gets complicated sometimes. But the reality is the leaders that are pushing great ministries forward and doing huge things are able to do this. And so you can do this too. You can have family time, and you can go to an awesome basketball game, Allie, that had to be amazing. And how cool, go Thunder. And so you get to create these moments. We have to be really intentional about them, but we can do it. And so, like I said, Australia, that's going to be super fun for me and my wife. We love to travel. But I just wanted to make a note that you guys are amazing in the way you lead families, and you keep me on track. Even if I'm only seeing the best things and the cool things that you post on Instagram that you took 5 times to get just right.
With a good filter. With a good filter, of course. So.
I threatened my kids before the photo. If you don't smile and look happy, it's going to be on. I'll tell you what. And they smile.
Yeah, I can't filter a smile in. Just smile. So, Let's go.
I'm looking
Frank,
forward.
can I
Oh,
chuck in there?
Oh,
To me,
Dave, almost.
ministry is about your whole family's involved. You know, for Jess and I, it's where she's in as much as me, whether she was on staff at church or not. It's when one of us is in, the whole family's in. And from what I've seen, you know, over the years, those that really struggle with the church versus family, it's because they make it church versus family rather than ministry is part of what we do in our life, and it's not just a piece of the pie. It's part of the whole pie.
Mhm.
that's very spiritual, Nathan. Thank you for that.
I like pie.
The pie. Uh, I was in the spirit of the question. The fun thing that I'm looking forward to in 15 days, Nintendo is bringing out Mario Kart 8, and myself and my son Brooklyn and my 4-year-old Orlando, who will probably end up beating me, will be playing video games for a few days, I'd imagine.
That's
So
fun.
That's awesome.
which ties in with family. I'm just very glad I've got 2 boys. You know what I'm saying? I've got a girl on the way, but I don't know if we'll connect over video games as I have with my other children. You know what I'm saying?
You'll connect over tutus and bows in the
Barbie.
hair. I'm really excited for you, Dave.
No, I'm not. I'm not excited. Yeah.
Dave's going to be braiding hair and doing the whole thing. I can.
He's practiced on me a few too many times.
That's funny.
I'm just
Oh,
jealous
that-
of all of you because I have 4 boys, so no girls.
That's
Wow.
exciting.
You're red, yep. So my oldest is 20. My husband is also on staff at New Spring. He sits on the leadership team with our pastor. But the oldest is 20, and our boys, you know, definitely have grown up being aware of church. He's fixing to go over to the UK for a year, partnering with a church called Freedom Church there. That's just kind of getting started. They have a huge movement that's going on, and they're launching campuses in countries. And so fixing to kind of let him go is going to be such a joy to my heart, but also, you know, the mama strings are really, you know, there too. But then our second son is 18, and he's, you know, plugged into our student ministry, has a call to ministry on his life as well. So seeing him learning, you know, and stepping into leadership, and again, seeing our kids, which I know that, you know, I'm going to pace a little bit ahead and more like with Allison, but seeing our kids being a part of what we get to do and seeing the benefits of that being a lifestyle so that they want to give their lives to it has been something that, you know, I prayed for. But I mean, I'm ashamed to say I'm kind of surprised by it, that our older 2 are trajecting towards, you know, a calling to ministry. And we still have 2 at home. So the youngest 2 are 60. They're all like 14, 16, 18, and 20. So a little stair step boys, but just I've been so excited to see, you know, you guys are doing it right. Like when you get to bring your kids alongside of you, sharing the victories that you're seeing in front of your very eyes, it becomes something that I think they aren't amazed by because, you know, it's just our life. Something I was always worried about if they would just go numb to God moving and saving people. But man, it's just ignited their hearts to be a part of it themselves. And so, but with that means they might go far away. So, but that's, you know, what we ask for, right? So that's the next season of life for me. I've got little people leaving my house, and they're going across the seas. But praise God, it's awesome.
Wow. Wow. It's funny with the baby tomorrow. My youngest is 4, a 6 and a 4-year-old, and my youngest, I actually feel ready to have a child now. I know that sounds funny. It's you have the first 2, and in marriage and in ministry, and what we were talking before, I think I'm busier than I've ever been. I'm doing more in ministry than I've ever done before, but family seems settled and better. And my wife and I are in a place you're almost like, okay, I'm ready to have kids now. And you're looking, you've already got 2. I mean, they're functional and they're great, and they're actually beautiful boys. But I just am really pumped about the next season because, you know, I don't think, and those that are watching this, I don't think busyness and those young leaders are, how do I manage this and how do I do this? I think it comes through maturity and how how you approach things, and even some of the things we were talking about earlier about, you know, your motivation or your heart or what you're chasing after. You get a bit older, I think you just chill a bit and you see what actually is important. So I think it's good.